Hey, future Gulf Breeze residents. Now, if you are actually looking to relocate to Gulf Breeze or at least considering it, you probably want to know, will you be able to handle some of the changes that comes along with relocating to the area? Well, in this video, I am going to share with you 5 facts that you will hopefully be able to handle when living in Gulf Breeze. I'm Stephanie Bueno with the Whittemore Group at LPT Realty. Now, our team is dedicated to helping others when it comes to buying their forever home, or maybe just a home that they want to enjoy for a few years before moving on, or investors that are looking for their next moneymaker, and even sellers who are looking to sell so they can move on to their next adventure. Our goal is to help make that process as smooth as possible and take a lot of the stress off your shoulders. That way you will be able to have an enjoyable experience. So if you are looking to buy, sell, or invest, feel free to reach out to us. Just give us a call, text, or email so we can be your personal tour guides through your next real estate journey. Now, first, let's talk about the climate challenges. We have a lot of people that tell us that they are ready to move to Florida to enjoy the warmer weather. They're so sick of the snow or the lots of rain, like up in Washington State. I hear it's just very miserable, or can be miserable, feel miserable because of all the rain. It's always gloomy. So there are people that just want to get away from all that and just come to Florida, enjoy the beaches and enjoy the sunshine. Well, be careful what you ask for, because Gulf Breeze does experience hot and humid weather. Summers can be intense, requiring resilience to high temperatures. So enjoying the warmer weather really depends on you and what you can tolerate. There are a lot of people that do not enjoy super hot temperatures like 90 degrees and above. And there are some that are looking forward to 90 and above weather, or even in the hundreds. Those people are questionable when it comes to their sanity, but you like what you like. Now, the summer of 2023 has been extra hot. We have been experiencing temperatures up into the higher 90s, where the real feel is about 110. And many of us aren't too happy about that. Gulf Breeze residents are probably trying to enjoy the summer as much as they possibly can, but I'm sure they are also looking forward to the fall and winter for the temperatures to kind of back off a little bit and calm down so we can enjoy not having to go check the mailbox without busting up a sweat. Not to say that the fall and winter season is extremely cold, like in the 30s or the 20s, but at least it gives us a break from these miserable, humid temperatures. But if you're all for that, then come on down to Gulf Breeze and come sweat it out with us. Next, let's talk about hurricane vulnerability. Well, based on where Gulf Breeze is located on the Emerald Coast, we're right on the Panhandle, which is just north of Gulf of Mexico. So we are prone to hurricanes here in the area, which can lead to evacuations and property damage, possible flooding. So residents just need to be prepared for the natural disasters that may come into the area. As long as you know how to prepare or what you need, know what the evacuation routes is, instead of trying to figure all of that out at the last minute. Some people still do, even people that's lived here for many, many years, still wait to the last minute to prepare. It's just a whole lot easier if you already have what you need in order to prepare. So the process of preparing for a storm is much easier. A lot of people do ask us, how bad are the hurricanes here? It's kind of hit or miss with that question, because we are most of the times in a projected path of a storm, but we don't necessarily always take that direct hit. It's been many, many years since a true disaster came to the area. But even if we are in an area that's going to be near where the eye of the storm is, even though we're not taking the direct hit, we are still going to get a lot of rain, stronger winds, which would lead to the property damage issues I mentioned. Of course, the winds can cause down trees or branches falling off, damaging your roofs, your vehicles. There's debris that can bust your windows, which is why I said just be prepared, which includes prepping your home for the bad weather. You want to board up your windows, maybe get some sandbags to prevent flooding in your home. If you do have a lot of branches hanging over your roof, just go ahead and cut those down. You really shouldn't have a lot of debris kind of falling onto your roof anyway and clogging up your gutters. So now would be a good time when it is hurricane season or before hurricane season to get rid of those branches around your home, just to prevent damage to your roof. A lot of people also ask about flood insurance. Gulf Breeze, of course, if you look on a map, you'll see it's right on the water. That doesn't necessarily mean that the entire city of Gulf Breeze is in a flood zone. However, if the home is in a flood zone and you are getting a mortgage on a home, you will have to purchase flood insurance. So make sure you get quotes on that before your purchase. However, if you're not in a flood zone, it's still always recommended to have flood insurance, because better safe than sorry, right? And if you are purchasing a home, check with the seller. They may already have a flood insurance policy that's transferable to the next owner, which could possibly save you some money. Now, if we do come across a storm that is bad enough to where there is a mandatory evacuation, again, just know where the evacuation routes are, make your plans in advance, know where you're going, if you need to book a hotel or coordinate with other family members to be able to stay with them, or take advantage and plan a little family getaway, a family vacation elsewhere to get away from the storm until it all blows over and you can return home. Hopefully you won't have to assess too much damage to your property. But if you do come across a lot of damage, hopefully you have your homeowner's insurance. The most important thing is that nobody is hurt. Third thing I'd like to talk about is the seasonal tourism impact. Gulf Breeze's appeal to tourists can lead to crowded conditions during peak season, affecting local tranquility and traffic flow. A lot of people want to come visit the area because of how beautiful it is. There's beautiful beaches nearby, lots of fun things to do. So you really can't get mad at them. They're admiring the place that you call home, and they want to temporarily experience the joys of living here. I'm sure there are times where you plan a family vacation to areas where there's a lot of tourists that are visiting at the same time, but those locals will have to deal with the same thing. Some are proud to deal with it, some are not. So that's up to you if you are welcoming to our visitors, or if you just want to stay in a bad mood because they're here to enjoy the place that you call home. So during peak tourist season, there's going to be, since there's more people in the area, there may be longer wait times at restaurants, and going to the grocery stores, it might be a little more crowded, more people laying out on the beach, which leads me to the fourth thing that I want to talk about is the traffic congestion. Now, traffic is a concern due to the limited access to get into Gulf Breeze and to get out of Gulf Breeze. There is just one primary road that everyone needs to jump on to get around. So even though during peak season, we're going to have a lot more tourists in the area, you might think that it's going to die down when the summer season is over with, but you still have to keep in mind that there's still the schools that will be in session. And in Gulf Breeze, you have the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school all next to each other. So the morning times can be a little busy on the roads, and the afternoon times and people trying to get to and from work during the times that the kids are trying to get to and from school. So you just have to plan accordingly and expect to be in some traffic. Maybe check some of the local social media sites where people post about accidents, or check your traffic apps and see if there's accidents that may cause even more delay. That way you can plan to leave a little bit earlier and still get to your destination on time. And believe it or not, there are still a lot of people that don't mind the extra traffic. Some people don't like to even go home for the day. They want to stay out as long as they can. They love to listen to music, and they like to just rock out and jam out in their cars and do a little car karaoke. And drivers with passengers use that time to take advantage of everyone having great conversation. So how you handle sitting in traffic is up to you. You could be mad about sitting in traffic, and you could actually take the time to just enjoy it, since you're going to be stuck in it anyway. And last but not least, let's talk about the higher cost of living. Now, the cost of living in Gulf Breeze can be high, but it's also driven by factors like housing, daily expenses, and your salary. So financial planning is crucial for comfortable living. However, it's good to know that according to payscale.com, the cost of living in Gulf Breeze is actually 5% lower than the national average. And that's overall, but just to break it down a little bit more, housing is 9% lower than the national average. And the cost of housing, again, that's going to depend on the type of property that you're looking for and what your budget is. So if you are looking for waterfront home in Gulf Breeze, expect to pay a lot more, of course. Or if you're just looking for something cute and simple, maybe a little cottage, then it'll definitely be a lot more affordable if you have that lower budget. And there are lots of properties in the area at different price points. So hopefully you would be able to find what you're looking for. And when it comes to utilities, it's actually 17% higher than the national average, unfortunately. Of course, that was going to include your water, electricity. And now electricity, of course, during the summertime, more people are going to crank up the AC. They're going to want to try and keep the home as cool as possible. People are going to start replacing windows to make it more energy efficient in the home. There's lots of different thermostats out there where you can set a schedule for your thermostat to kind of control the energy usage of the home and control the cost of your utilities. So if you are going to be gone all day, you can just adjust it to where it's going to be a little warmer in the home, and it'll just at a certain time before you get home. So it'll be nice and comfortable by the time you return. And of course, in the winter, we do tend to get a little chilly here in the area. So we do use some heat as well. But the amount of usage and the cost of your electricity bill is going to depend on your usage, the size of the family. If People are home all day, work from home or homeschooled. If you have additions to your house, like a workshop or swimming pools, that's going to take up more energy. Just take those into consideration when you're considering how much you're going to spend towards your utilities. In groceries, it's actually 2% lower than the national average. So groceries aren't too expensive. There are some stores where the cost is higher than others. Of course, the quality may be a little bit better, but if you're not so picky, there are other options too for you to shop where it's a little more affordable. And when it comes to transportation in Gulf Breeze, it is 9% lower than the national average. Transportation would include gas, car insurance, and the maintenance of your vehicle. So to sum that up, basically you're just spending a whole lot more in utilities. But overall, again, it is the cost of living is 5% lower in the Gulf Breeze area compared to the national average. So keep in mind that living in Gulf Breeze requires adaptability and preparedness to handle these challenges for a fulfilling experience. So hopefully these 5 facts didn't scare you away and you know you're up for a good challenge and you'll be able to move on to Gulf Breeze and enjoy a wonderful experience living in the area. If this information was useful for you, give us a like and don't forget to share this video with anyone you know that's interested in moving to Gulf Breeze or the surrounding areas. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap on that bell just so you're notified every time we do a new video. Again, I'm Stephanie Bueno with the Whittemore Group at LPT Realty. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Have you considered moving to Mary Esther, Florida, and wondering whether I should move here or consider other places? Well, you are in the right place because we're going to go over the pros, we're going to go over the cons, of what you need to know prior to moving to this area. So here's a sneak peek. We've got noise from